I had a sneaky idea. I bought a pair of sunglasses and pretended to be a blind person. Then, I went for an interview at a blind massage center. Since my skills were good, I managed to get the job successfully. I worked as a salesman during the day and pretended to be a blind masseur at night. At first, I thought that would be it. The money that I earned from being a blind masseur was enough to support my family. After working as a blind masseur for 2 weeks, my boss suddenly wanted to talk to me. "Matthew, you've worked here for 2 weeks, right?" asked my boss as he patted my shoulder. I nodded and said nervously, "Yes. Did I do something wrong?" My boss dismissed my worry with a wave of his hand. "No, you're doing great. Your customers all praise your good techniques. They say that you always make them feel very comfortable." I let out a sigh of relief. He then said, "Matthew, since you're doing great, I want to give you an opportunity. Do you want to earn more money?" I was momentarily stunned and immediately nodded. "Of course, we provide a hidden service on the top floor." "What kind of service is that?" I asked. He said meaningfully, "You're in this industry, so you'd know that some people are more sensitive when they're being massaged. Some of them feel pleasure from it, right?" I nodded. "I learned that when I was in vocational school. Those who are on the top floor are our VIPs. You have to be careful not to provoke them. If they like your service, you'd be able to earn a lot of money. A little tip from them might be worth more than your salary." My eyes widened behind my sunglasses. It sounded too good to be true. I gulped and immediately said, "Don't worry, I'll do my best." "Good, you can head to the top floor tomorrow. I have high hopes for you." He patted my shoulder and left. After work the next day, I rushed to the massage center. Someone led me to the top floor and into a room. "Matthew, get ready. The VIP is almost here." The supervisor came in to inform me. I nodded and stood by the door. I lowered my head as I waited. After a while, the door opened. I saw a pair of long legs wrapped in black pantyhose. She was wearing a pair of high heels too. I kept my head low as I said respectfully, "Good evening, miss. I'm Masseur number 888. I look forward to serving you today." "Are you new?" she asked as she stood before me. I nodded. "Yes, miss." "Look up," she said. I raised my head. Through the sunglasses, I met her eyes. I was completely dumbfounded. Rosalind Dunn? I could not believe it. Rosalind was the CEO of our company. Almost all male colleagues fantasized about her. I was no exception. "Take off your sunglasses. I don't like when people talk to me with sunglasses on," Rosalind said coldly. I trembled, but I still took off the sunglasses. My eyes were lifeless and unfocused as I stared in front of me. To get hired at this massage center, I had spent a lot of time learning how to pretend to be a blind person. Rosalind stared intently into my eyes. I did not even dare to blink. She finally looked away just when my eyes were getting sore. "You look handsome. Now let me see your skills." After she said that, she started to take off her clothes right in front of me. Finally, she was wearing her birthday suit. She lay down on the massage bed. I massaged as usual, but after a while, Rosalind seemed dissatisfied. "What are you doing? Didn't your boss tell you how to do it?" I was stunned. Before I could react or respond, she grabbed my hands and pressed them against her backside. I gulped as my trembling hands started to massage her behind. Even though I had pretty much guessed that this was the nature of the hidden service on the top floor from what my boss had told me yesterday, I still felt nervous when I started to truly do it. As I massaged her, she started to moan after a while. I could hardly hold myself back from jumping on top of her when I looked at her seductive face. I performed my best, and she trembled a few times in pleasure from my skills. "You're great at this." After I was done, Rosalind took a while to regain her composure. She then started to smoke. I stood respectfully at the side. She blew a smoke ring at me, took out a wad of cash and placed it on the massage bed. I did not shift my gaze to look at the money at all. I was afraid that she was testing me. As expected, I noticed her watching me out of the corner of my eyes. When she saw that I did not react, she nodded in satisfaction. "This is your tip. I'll ask for your service again next time." She placed the cash in my hand. I pretended to feel the thickness of the stack of cash, then put on a surprised face as I thanked her. "Thank you so much." I went back home after my shift was done. Rosalind's alluring figure kept playing in my mind. I did not even shower and let out my pent-up tension onto my wife. The next day, I walked into the massage center as usual. To my surprise, Rosalind showed up again right after I had finished changing into my uniform. She had a massage just yesterday, so why was she here again today? Was she that desperate? I stole a glance at her. When she turned around, I immediately unfocused my eyes and gave her a massage again. After yesterday's experience, I was already familiar with her body. I knew all her sensitive parts. I gave her a slight warm-up before I started my main tricks. Rosalind moaned from my massage. Toward the end of the massage, she turned around and pinned me down against the massage bed. I was shocked. Even though I had fantasized about her before, I did not dare to actually do it. But Rosalind had lost her reason. She slapped my hands away and wanted to take my pants off. I grabbed onto my pants tightly and said hurriedly, "No, I don't provide such services." Her eyes briefly regained some clarity, but when she stared at the bulge in my pants, her eyes burned with desire again. "Don't you want to? I'll pay you $10,000 for it." She tempted me with money. I hesitated and shook my head. $20,000. My heart skipped a beat. $30,000. Rosalind did not even bat an eye. I gulped. $50,000. Rosalind looked offended as she straddled me. "Don't act like you're so innocent." With a soft sigh, she sat on me.